It's Hong Kong Racing Spring Showpiece event, FWD Champions Day, 3 Group 1s worth a combined $58 million. Here's what's coming up on this edition of HK Direct, and we're going to be previewing the Chairman's Sprint Prize featuring top Australian sprinter Santa Ana Lane. Beauty Generation is the main act in the Champions Mile, seeking back-to-back victories in the race, and an enthralling duel coming up in the QE2 Cup as well. Darryl Anderson from Trackside, New Zealand, joins me. Now, Darryl, you've been a presenter there for nearly 20 years. You're on holidays in Hong Kong. How have you come into a TV studio on your time off?
I know. Who would believe it, eh? But I think that's what racing people do, Ed, and nice to be here. I guess when we have time off, we tend to gravitate towards races and race meetings, don't we? So, yeah, that's what's brought me up here. I haven't been here since Blazing Speed won the QE2 4 years ago, so it's taken me a while to get back, but I'm delighted to be back.
And it looks like you're back for a terrific meeting on Sunday too.
Oh, it's an absolute ripper, isn't it? Beauty Generation, as you mentioned, is probably the headline act. How good is he going? He's an absolute standout. He looks the moral of the day, and the QE2, well, that's an interesting race, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty wide open, and I would suggest maybe 8 winning chances in that, and of course we've got the sprint with the Kiwi in it as well.
Definitely. Let's start off then with the sprint, the Chairman's Sprint Prize, which is worth $16 million. Santa Ana Lane for Australia is at the top there. He'll jump from gate 10. Vidora also represents Australia, while Mr. Stunning beat the clock, the 2 main chances for Hong Kong with Ratton. And you mentioned Enzo's lad, the Kiwi, Nak Venus from Japan. Let's have a look then and get your opinion on Enzo's lad. Dual Group 1 winner. Both of those wins have come in the Telegraph. This is his most recent triumph in the race at Trentham. What do you make of his chances for Sunday here?
Well, I mean, the good thing about him is, like he did in both of his Telegraph wins, he's drawn a low gate. So he is going to get a nice run in transit. You can see him here. He's just come across the crossing. It's a little dog leg left-handed track at Trentham. And he's tracked the speed beautifully. He's come across, he's just lost, not his footing so much, but he's just sort of lost his bearings just a little bit when he came across the crossing. But once he straightened up, turning for home, and he was given clear air here by Michael McNabb, he's been able to pick up Ferrando there in the red colours. Good run, the stablemate out wide there that has since campaigned in Australia. But Enzo's there, just a tough, honest bugger, you know.
And there's a great story with him too, the Pittmans. Great racing family in New Zealand, and Michael Pittman as well. It's probably a well-known story in New Zealand racing circles, but really opening up to the press at Sha Tin through the week too.
Yeah, he did, and yeah, look, he's been through some rough times for sure, losing his son 6 years ago, and then being diagnosed with cancer, you know, almost 12 months ago. He's been through a lot of chemotherapy. He genuinely thought that his time had come. So for him to come out the other side and being basically given a clean bill of health, and to be able to have the opportunity to come to the biggest racing stage in the world it is somewhat of a dream for him. And yeah, I'm so stoked that he's got a runner, and a runner that's some rough chance as well.
It would definitely be the feel-good story if he was able to win. As you say, it's a dream that he's even here in the first place. Knowing your New Zealand form, how does that marry up to the Hong Kong, the Australian form that we've got in the race?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? You've actually got to sort of knit everything together, and I suppose I come back to the TJ Smith, which I think is probably going to be the key form reference. And you can see Santa Ana Lane from away back in the field there in the yellow caps, been able to go around probably Australia's best sprinters of the season and pick them up and drop them, really. I mean, this has been very impressive. So I think whilst Enzo's lad is a genuine racehorse and a horse that will give 100%, if he was to line up in the TJ Smith, where would he have finished? And as you can see, Santa Ana Lane is completely dominant. Had Enzo's lad run in that race, he might have finished 5th or 6th at best, in my opinion. Whilst, yeah, because he's just a genuine trier. So in marrying that up, can he beat Santa Ana Lane? I don't think so. I'd love him to. And I'll certainly be cheering for him, but I'm just not 100% sure he can.
When you look at Santa Ana Lane's form, 5-time Group 1 winner in Australia. We've seen Australian sprinters do so well in Dubai, Royal Ascot, here in the past, Singapore. They are top class, the Australian sprinters.
Oh, absolutely. And interestingly enough, Santa Ana Lane comes through the same race as Chautauqua did a couple of years ago. Won the TJ, came up here and won the sprint. And providing there's no bad luck, Santa Ana Lane will be right there, if not winning the race, in my opinion. The interesting thing with the sprint is, where's the speed going to come from? And I actually had that conversation with Michael Pittman this morning. Has he got enough speed to lead? He said, I don't want to lead, and I don't think he has got enough speed to lead anyway. So I would imagine he's going to get a similar run as what he did in those 2 telegraphs. He's going to just track the speed nice and tightly in behind, if not the trail, maybe 3 back, 1 out, or at least the 1-1. That's where they envisage him positioning in the race. And from there, he's going to be, he's going to be trying his heart out. Whether he can beat Santa Ana Lane, who's going to come from behind him, I don't think so.
Hong Kong sprinters are always tough to beat, particularly on their home turf. Mr. Stunning, Ratton in the race, beat the clock. But in summary, is Santa Ana Lane the Aussie the one to beat?
Absolutely. Even if the pace is moderate, I still think Santa Ana Lane can pick them up and beat them. I think Mr. Stunning was, on the face of things, a little bit disappointing last time out. He's better than that, and I think he was a significant time between runs too last time out. So Zach Sticks, to me, he looks the danger.
Let's move on then to the Champions Mile, and this race is all about one horse really. Beauty Generation, the reigning horse of the year, taking on 6 rivals. He's beat them all before. When you look at what he's done, he's won 9 of his last 10. He's had a perfect season, and to cap it all off for you, Darryl, he's a Kiwi bred.
He is a Kiwi bred, and we're very proud of that, obviously. But yeah, he looks an absolute moral, as we said, top of the show. He's just racing so well. His win in the Chairman's was almost a track gallop. He got it so soft in front, and I just can't see them beating him. He's just going to position himself right on speed from a good draw, and Zach will have him winning the race.
Has he attracted the attention of racing fans in New Zealand,
given
that he's from New Zealand?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. He gets a lot of social media coverage as well, naturally enough. But yeah, he is definitely one of the standout New Zealand-bred horses racing anywhere in the world at the moment. So.
Absolutely. He's the horse that so many people are going to be coming to see on Sunday. Will eclipse the Hong Kong prize money record too if he wins the Champions Mile set by Viva Pitaka. So all about Beauty Generation when it comes to the Champions Mile. The big race overall is the FWD QE2 Cup. It's worth $24 million. A field of 13 to line up. Exultant comes in excellent form. He's won his last 3. Time Warp, Glorious Forever are the last 2 winners of the Hong Kong Cup. Win Bright, Lee's Grasher, Deirdre represent Japan. Well, we've got the Derby winner there as well too, in Furore, who's trying to do a Werther, an ambitious dragon, and win the Derby and the QE2 Cup. Let's then go to Eminent, because there is a bit of a New Zealand connection with this horse. Formerly trained in the UK. He's had 2 runs leading in Australia, and this was the best of them in the Ranvet.
Yeah, it was a ripper run. I think the latter one was definitely a forgive, and I'll explain that in a moment. But this was his first run in a number of months. And so 2,000 metres of the Ranvet at Group 1, you can see the Godolphin colours there with Avilius coming down centre track and being able to pick him up late. But first up for such a long time and a trip down to Australia, I thought the run was terrific, was really, really good. And I'm not sure whether Hong Kong at that point had been a major consideration. I think the connections have gone back subsequent to this and gone, gee, it's gone really well. Why don't we have a throw at the stumps and bring him to Hong Kong? As I said, his subsequent run was poor. He wore earmuffs, didn't handle that at all, according to the jockey, James McDonald. He also missed the kick. He got stuck back on the inside winks, and he just never looked comfortable at all. And for that reason, it's a forgive run. If you're to consider seriously that Ranvet performance, yeah, he's going to be a terrific chance. He's going to be one of the speed influences in the race, but whether he will get to the lead like he'll want to do, I don't know. You've got, Time Walk, who Time Warp who wants to lead, and you've got the other one in the race that's a
Glorious
forever who'll want to sit on speed if not lead as well. So for that reason, it's going to set up a genuine tempo and a genuinely run race. And yeah, for that reason, I tend to favour a back marker a little bit in this.
Okay, let's see. There might be one in this replay here. You spoke about the Chairman's won by Beauty Generation. It's also a significant form reference for the QE2 Cup. Eagle Way settled at the rear of the field. He's a stablemate of Beauty Generation, of course. He was finishing off strongly. And Pakistan Star, the defending champion in the race, ran second at it 2 years ago. Of course, now trained by New Zealand expat Paul O'Sullivan.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Beauty Generation, as I said, this was nothing more than a track gallop. Yes, I thought Pakistan Star had a pass mark, but have a look at Eagle Way here. This was a terrific run, and I know, having heard interviews prior to this particular race from trainer John Moore, he was very upbeat about Eagle Way's chances in this, suggesting that once he got back up over some ground, that he'd be very, very competitive. Well, that run just indicates that. Just, you know, like he's just come out of a hole in the ground here late, and the step to 2,000 metres is perfect.
And what do we do with the enigma that is Pakistan Star?
Well, you mentioned he is trained by an expat Kiwi and Paul O'Sullivan, who's been here for a number of years. Paul's a very astute trainer who will have a horse peaking for the right race at the right time. So I can't entirely disregard Pakistan Star, but having watched that replay a number of times, you know, Eagle Way's come off his back. So for that reason, I would probably favour Eagle Way over Pakistan Star. But Pakistan Star's a good horse, you know, and has to be, has to be respected. So,
as Paul O'Sullivan said through the week, it depends what Pakistan Star rocks up on the day. Would be remiss of us to discuss this race and not discuss the three Japanese horses in it: Lise Gracheur, Wimbright, Deirdre. What was your take?
As I said, because of the speed in the race, I do favour a horse coming from off speed, and I do like all three Japanese horses. I've watched a little bit of on your program this week, some of the track work from the various three runners. I like them all. I was most impressed with Wimbright. He looks terrific, and I think he's probably the least favoured in the market for Sunday. But I give him a sneaky win chance too at a price too. But they'll all be right there at the business end for sure.
I'm putting you under the pump by asking you this, but of the 13, if I said you could only pick one, who would it be?
Oh, gee. I'll go Wimbright.
All right, Wimbright at a good price for the Japanese. What's going to be a cracking QE2. Just in summary, Darryl, overall on the day, 3 Group 1s. As a racing fan, what are you most excited about on Sunday?
I mean, obviously, I'm excited about watching Enzo's lad and hoping that he performs up to his very best and can be a top 4, top 5 player. I think that's probably where he sits at best, but he's going to get the dream run. You know, horse racing's horse racing. There's no good thing, although Beauty Generation, I think, is. So I am looking forward to Enzo's start, looking forward to Beauty Generation being dominant. And yeah, hopefully I can make $1 or $2 on Wimbright.
Absolutely.
In the QE2.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a super race, as you said before. You can make a case about a number of them. It's going to be an enthralling day of racing coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday. Champions Day, sponsored by FWD. The coverage gets underway at 12:15, the first at 12:45. The first of the Group 1s is the Chairman's Sprint Prize. Enzo's lad, Santa Ana Lane, up against the Hong Kong Sprinters. That's at 3:20. Beauty Generation's at 4 o'clock. The QE2's at 4:40. There's been some terrific content through the week on the website and also through Twitter. So make sure you get there for the latest on everything to do with FWD Champions Day. Darryl, really appreciate that you've made the TV studio at Sha Tin part of your holiday. Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to your company too on Sunday at Sha Tin for what will be a wonderful day of racing. We'll see you there.